I was thinking really, when one considers how the world is divided politically, religiously, socially, morally, and especially in the religious field, which should be the unifying factor of all cultures. There one sees how religions have separated man.
Yes,
the
and
Catholic,
even
the Protestant, the Hindu, the Muslim, and they're all say, we're all seeking one thing.
yes, and even with the framework of within the framework of any given religion, there's a great tendency for people to divide one subgroup against another subgroup, and this seems to be indigenous to...
No, therefore, freedom is this, the negation of being conditioned by any culture, by any religious division or political division.
I would think in some sense that ultimate freedom is the negation of such a condition. I think the struggle for freedom is precisely the attempt to break through or undercut or get at that which underlies these various conditioning processes. I think the conditioning processes themselves go on, and that in each human being, or in each flower, or in each animal, and the task in the pursuit of freedom is precisely to break through somehow or other to that which is in some sense ultimately real.
What we mean by conditioning?
Well, conditioning in cultures throughout history and across space is quite varied, as you know. Conditioning, for example, in the Western world of today, has been achieved primarily through the process of the enlightenment of rational, logical processes, which I suppose are productive. Without rational processes, we wouldn't have television cameras to talk on. At the same time, with television cameras, we may not see anything. And so I suspect that what we're dealing with in our world as a primary conditioning agency is the whole world of the kinds of thoughts or categories or concepts or constructs, I call them fantasies, that people deal with and somehow or other think are real.
Yes, sir, but don't these conditionings separate man?
Unquestionably, yes. They separate man both within himself
and outwardly and
outwardly, yes.
So, if we are concerned with peace, with ending war, with living in a world in which this terrible violence, this separation, the brutality and all the rest of it is to end, it seems to me that the function of any serious religious man, because I feel a religion is the only factor that unifies man.
Yes.
Not politics, economics, and all the rest of it, but the religious factor. And instead of bringing man together, religions have separated man.
I'm not sure that that's quite right. I think that religion has been defined by cultures as a unifying force between men. There's not an awful lot of evidence in history that it's ever achieved this particular function.
No.
This may also be a function of the limiting dimensions of any given religion, or the inability of religious people to, in some way or another, transcend their own religious concepts or their own religious legends or myths or dogmas, whatever you want to call them. And I think that there is, in fact, a deeper base for unity.
One can't get to the deeper unless one is free from the outer. My mind won't go very, very deeply unless there's a freedom from belief, from dogma.
I think that's true in a sense. I think that there must be within man a sense, consciousness, experience, something, a sense of his own inner freedom before he can be appropriately religious, before he can allow religious categories as analytical categories to have any meaning for him. I think that some other he must be human and free before he can ever think of being religious. And I think what's happened is just the opposite.
Yes, yes. Therefore, we are seeing what the world is now, actually, not conceptually, but the actual fact of separation, wars, the terrible violence that is pervading the world right through. I feel it is the religious mind that can bring real unity to human beings.